Welcome to the Only Dream Big podcast, starring your host, Donnie Bedney. Only Dream Big is a podcast where Donnie will share tips and experiences on different topics such as acquisition entrepreneurship, human capital, and the future of the workforce. He is the president of PSP Metrics and has been in the assessment and human capital management industry for more than 15 years, with the goal of driving change through people. As your guide on dreaming big, let's hear from the man himself.
So this is Donnie Bedney with the Only Dream Big podcast. So excited to have a good friend and brother of mine, Emerson Foster, on with me today. Going to unpack a few things. Emerson's, background, not only his, I'll say an amalgamation of a bunch of different things, but I think he is definitely the definition of someone who's been able to not only dream big, but on a daily basis is driving change through people regularly across multiple organizations. So I'm just excited to have you today. Why don't you talk to us, and the listeners just a little bit. I mentioned kind of your diverse background. Talk to us a little bit about that, and you could even go back because you played football, like in college, right?
I did. Well, first, it's a pleasure to be with you, Donnie, my brother, and who doesn't like to talk about themselves? But yeah. So I was an athlete growing up. One thing about being, playing a sport, and I went off and played in college and played baseball in college as well. Played football and baseball in college. And one thing, as you know, about playing a sport, it immediately thrusts you into this team dynamic, right? This thing bigger than yourself, right? Being part of a unit and being part of this bigger piece. And then finding your place within that, right? Are you going to just play your position, or are you going to be a leader within the team, leader within your position group, and all those things? Mm-hmm. I would say that it's, for me, growing up, I played baseball. I pitched in baseball. When I was a catcher. Yeah. When I played football, I was a quarterback in high school. Right. I wasn't a very good quarterback, by the way. But I was a good pitcher. By the way, my dog thinks he's a guard. So I may need to go close my door here because the wind's blowing. He's barking.
This is a unique time that we're living in, right?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's all right.
Sorry about that.
Oh man, no worries.
Yeah.
This actually is an interesting segue, not to get off of the baseball stuff, man, because I don't think we've talked about this, but baseball is my best sport. I had a couple like Division II scholarships and stuff coming to high school. Mm-hmm. But one of the things I'd love to touch on just for a second is obviously we're living at a very unique time in history, right? Mm-hmm. And hopefully something that only happens like every 100 years. And so, I've already promised the listeners that I'll have my 2-year-old Sophia on the pod eventually, but there's a possibility she may just run in, right?
That's right.
Of what we're doing at home. And so whether it's pets, whether it's children and all of that, it's a unique thing, man. So, I know you personally, but I've also got to witness you, from afar, professionally, and, how are you able to, balance like, your corporate roles, which have been, quite large, frankly, people look you up, I'm sure they will, you can see that, but then also your time in the community, founder of, the men's dinner group, which, I've been a part of for a while. How are you able to balance that? And are you finding that, even working remotely, maybe even it helps you balance it a little bit more? But
this may go in the kind of space of what I would ask folks to really think about, and advice I may give someone or individuals. I think we have more capacity than we realize. 24 hours is a short period of time when you really think about it, with all the things that you have to do. And many of us, our time is important to us, and it should be, right? I think over the years, I've found a way to fit everything in, so that it's not a detriment to any one thing that I am focused on, right? And so it's really about how you utilize your time. Me, I don't sleep a lot. So I wouldn't be able to do those things if I actually was not willing to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and go to the gym, because the gym is important to me, right? And so whatever is important to you, you have to find time within that defined period to get the things done that you want to get done. With my son Devin, and you probably will find this with Sophia, when Devin was born, my son, who's now a junior at Clemson University, when he was born, was right around the time when I helped to start the not-for-profit Bottom Line. Devin literally knew Bottom Line from the day he was born, because he would literally come with me to my meetings, because that was, my wife would be working.
Yeah.
And I was, I had Devin and Alana, and they would both literally come to meetings with me for Bottom Line as we were trying to, so just trying to be very smart about that. He's come to meetings with me in my office. At the time, luckily I worked for people who understood, young family, trying to do a lot of different things. And I just try to incorporate as much as I possibly could in everything I did, kind of this cross-functional, both community and work and family, and just put them all together in some time, in some ways, just to try to get everything done, right? And so just really thinking about your capacity, being smart about it, and finding time for you when you can, and being very intentional about it. Like, I don't give up my gym day. I just don't. My first thing I think about when I get up in the morning is like, how am I going to get this workout today? Because that's my balance. Yeah. That's my balance. It allows me to do all the other things. If I didn't do that, it would really impact my day, frankly, in a negative way. So, capacity is an interesting thing, right? And I think sometimes you have to dig into that as individuals and really truly understand what's important to you. If sleep is important to you, then you're going to spend your time doing that, right? Yeah. If you really want to touch a lot of different things, then you may operate a little differently. That's all. I
mean, I think that's huge, man, especially for, a decent amount of our listeners, I would say, are, either, maybe early coming into their career, or even, mid-career professionals who are thinking about, this balance, right? Some of them have young families, some of them maybe not yet, but are planning on it, and, continuing to climb this corporate ladder, or entrepreneurs, et cetera. And so, as I moved into my new position, like in February, one of the big things that I've observed from just, productive executives, and you would definitely be one of those people, is this, as you talk about capacity, I think it's just their ability to manage their energy, right? And that's Sophia in the background, right? Fresh from the park and almost halftime. So, just managing their energy. And so that's been a huge focus of mine, since February. And I would say that, the days that I'm able to get my workout in, as I've recommitted to that, as I've focused on like what I eat, what I put in my body, although I will admit that I did check out the well. And so for those listeners of ours, I was able to, I was talking to Emerson about another topic, he was eating a Jamaican patty, and I had not found a great Jamaican restaurant, just in a while, and I literally had to go over there and get Jamaican patty and cocoa bread, almost that same day, I think. But managing my energy has been so significant, for me, man, and being productive. And I think that that's something that most people don't talk about enough. And so I feel like I just feel impressed, like, to stay here a little bit more, because once again, can you unpack a little bit for me, like, this underestimating of capacity and managing your energy, and how important that is to understand your capacity? I mean, do you stretch it to the point of like, oh, I can't go anymore, or when you feel like you can't go anymore, is that kind of when you're just starting?
Interesting. Where that takes me is, like, I lean into my passions, right? When you really think about it, I mean, I'm passionate about work, but I would put that down on the priority list from a passion perspective. I'm really passionate about my family, and so whatever I can do to spend as much time with them that's productive as I possibly can, I do.
Okay.
I'm also passionate about their well-being, which then brings the work component into it, because the best I can do on the job provides the benefits that I want to provide to them.
Sure.
So I'm passionate about that.
Yep.
And obviously I'm passionate about myself, and not so much healthy, because I eat terribly, so that I'll never be able to cover that. But I gain energy from feeling strong.
Sure.
From exerting, kind of some energy and sweating. I get energy from that, and so yes, I've figured out over my lifetime what is going to provide the fuel that's going to get me going, right? The not-for-profit space provides me the fuel. I've always, when I was early in my career, I thought that, I'd be an executive director of a not-for-profit program, no question. That's just one, I want to help, I want to support, I want to do all those things. And I learned pretty early in my career that, man, I could have broader impact. If I grow this career, what I could do for these not-for-profits is 10 times more than I could do as an executive director running just one not-for-profit, right? And that's literally what's happened. So as I grow my career, hey, whether it is, you're donating your time or donating your money or connecting those entities with individuals in your circle so they can raise funds and, being a strategic partner and a support to those, that has all really helped to really drive value in those entities that I've supported in the community, my ability to really grow a career in on the corporate side. So
that's huge.
I really think it's really understanding what you're really passionate about. And I think when you do that, you'll find a way to make that, it's almost ubiquitous to your life. It's just a part of, you get up every day and you find you're doing things as just matter of course. You know what I mean? So, I mean, my day literally is toggling between, my work, which is like a job and a half. And I'm getting these calls for whether it's the dinner group or the this or the that. And, to me, I see them all kind of playing together, right? My job as an HR leader is really about people. It's really about growing talent. It's really about, executing a long-range talent strategy that's going to support, our business. And it's not just the people that are within the company that feed into that. It's people who are outside the company as well. I'm trying to help to build the brand of the company in our community. So the more I can be out there doing that, it benefits the company. I'm trying to engage the best talent I can engage for the community. So the more I'm out there working with Bottom Line or the dinner group, what have you, that helps the company. So to me, the capacity, I think when you get to a place where, you can weave them all together, it's not just me just focusing on work, and then I got to go spend 8 hours, focusing on a not-for-profit.